Visual. A massive Boeing 747 taxiing on a private runway at golden hour. No airline livery, just polished white with a gold stripe. The camera slowly tilts up as the plane lifts off into a sunset sky. Narrator, VO. Imagine a plane where the pilot's quarters are smaller than the master bedroom's walk-in closet, where the dining table is solid mahogany, bolted to the floor at 40,000 feet, where there's a concert grand piano in the lounge, and someone to play it for you, where the shower runs hot water at cruising altitude, and where the whole thing, the jet fuel, the crew, the gold-plated faucets, costs over $600 million. Visual. Slow motion reveal the interior. A chandelier swaying gently, leather seats wider than first class, a king-size bed with silk sheets. Text appears on screen. On-screen text. $600 million. One plane. Zero compromises. Narrator, VO. This isn't a private jet. This is a flying palace. And today, we're going inside. Title card. The $600 million Flying Palace Tour. Visual. Wide exterior shot of Boeing 747-8 BBJ, Boeing business jet. Comparison graphic. Standard 747 versus BBJ side by side. Narrator. Before we get into the gold fixtures and the onboard spa, let's talk about what this thing actually is. The aircraft in question is a Boeing 747-8 BBJ. That's a business jet variant of the iconic 747, the same double-deck, four-engine jumbo jet you've probably flown on in economy class, packed in like a sardine next to a stranger. Visual. Graphics showing interior cabin space, 4,786 square feet highlighted. Narrator. But in BBJ configuration, the 747-8 offers up to 4,786 square feet of interior cabin space. That's not a cabin. That's a house. A pretty large house, actually, with wings. Visual. Comparison chart. Average American home. 300 SQ feet. Flying Palace cabin. For 800 SQ feet. Your economy seat. 2 square feet. Narrator. Now here's where it gets interesting. Boeing doesn't outfit these planes. They sell the bare shell, what's called a green aircraft, to specialized interior design firms. And then those firms, working under contracts from billionaires, royalty, and heads of state, spend years turning that empty aluminum tube into something out of a James Bond movie. Visual. Construction footage of an aircraft interior being built. Craftsmen installing wood panels. Technicians running wiring. Upholsterers wrapping seats in leather. Narrator. The customization process alone can take 3 to 5 years. And the firms doing this work, companies like Lufthansa Technik, Greenpoint Technologies, and AMAC Aerospace, charge accordingly. We're talking interior fit-outs that can run anywhere from $150 million to $500 million or more on top of the base aircraft cost. Add it all up, and you get to that headline number, $600 million, sometimes more. Visual. Aerial shots of Riyadh, Abu Dhabi, Moscow, and Brunei. Tasteful, non-identifying shots of wealthy individuals boarding private aircraft. Narrator. So, who exactly is spending $600 million on a plane? The short answer, the ultra-rich royalty and occasionally entire governments. The most famous example in public record is Prince Al-Wali bin Talal's 747. The Saudi billionaire prince commissioned a custom 747 that became known in aviation circles as a Flying Palace. Reports put the total cost of his aircraft, the A380 he later upgraded to, at over $500 million, including interior work. Visual. Graphics showing known ultra-luxury private jets by owner category. Narrator. The Sultan of Brunei, one of the richest monarchs on Earth, is believed to own a fleet of over 100 aircraft, including heavily modified 747s and 777s. The Saudi royal family operates several jumbo jet-class private aircraft. Russian oligarchs, before many had their assets seized following the 2022 sanctions, were known for commissioning extraordinary flying palaces. Visual. Silhouetted figures walking toward a lit aircraft at night. Narrator. And then there's a segment that doesn't make headlines at all. Anonymous ultra-high net worth individuals who register their aircraft under holding companies in places like the Cayman Islands or the Isle of Man, specifically to keep ownership private. The point is, these planes exist. They fly. And the people who own them aren't showing them off on Instagram. Because when you're at this level, privacy is the ultimate luxury. Visual, ground level shot of the aircraft on a private tarmac. A staircase descends from the forward fuselage. The livery is immaculate, custom paint, gold accents, no visible airline markings. Narrator, all right, let's get on board. You don't arrive at a commercial terminal for this. You pull up to a private fixed-base operator, an FBO, usually at a secondary airport or the private aviation wing of a major hub. There's no check-in, no security line, no boarding gate. You drive your car to within 50 feet of the aircraft and walk up a dedicated staircase. Visual, close-up of the aircraft exterior, custom paint detailing, flush windows, reinforced landing gear for heavy interior modifications. Narrator, the exterior of these aircraft often features custom paint jobs that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars on their own. Some feature hand-painted gold leaf detailing. Others opt for a more understated matte white or deep navy. Either way, the paint is multi-layered, weather-hardened, and maintained by a dedicated ground crew. Visual, looking up at the tail fin, engines humming softly, the ground crew doing final pre-flight checks. Narrator, for engines, for General Electric GX turbofans, each generating roughly 66,000 pounds of thrust. The kind of power that lets this aircraft, even fully loaded with marble floors and a wine cellar, climb to 43,000 feet and cruise at Mach 0.855. That's about 650 miles per hour. Range? 9,000 plus nautical miles. New York to Dubai. London to Singapore. Nonstop, without refueling, without stopping. The world becomes very small when you own one of these. Visual. Step through the main entrance, the forward door. A uniformed flight attendant greets at the threshold. The camera slowly pans the entryway. Narrator, the moment you step inside, you realize this isn't a plane. Not really. The smell hits you first. Genuine leather, fresh flowers, a faint trace of expensive wood. No recycled cabin air. Custom filtration systems on aircraft like this often include HEPA filters, ionizers, and humidity control to keep the cabin air fresher than most five-star hotels. Visual. The entrance hallway, custom-laid stone or hardwood flooring, recessed lighting, original artwork mounted on the walls. Narrator, the foyer, and yes, there's a foyer, typically features genuine stone or hardwood flooring, not laminate, not vinyl, real materials, precision cut and engineered to survive the flexion and vibration of flight. The walls are hand-upholstered or paneled in burled walnut, hand-stitched leather, or lacquered wood. The lighting is programmable LED that can shift from bright daylight white to a warm amber dinner glow to a soft blue for sleeping. Visual, a closet opens to reveal hanging space and a full-length mirror with integrated lighting. Narrator, there's even a coat closet, because of course there is. Visual, camera moves into the main lounge, wide leather sofas, a full bar, low coffee tables, mood lighting. The aircraft hasn't taken off yet. Windows show the tarmac outside. Narrator, moving forward into the main lounge, and this is where most guests spend the majority of the flight. We're talking full-size sofas. Not airline seats, not even lay-flat pods, actual sofas, upholstered in Hermes leather or hand-stitched Italian nappa. The kind of leather that costs more per square meter than most people's monthly rent. Visual, close-up of a sofa, then pulling back to show the full lounge space. Easily 25 to 30 feet of open cabin. Narrator, the lounge area can seat 10 to 20 people comfortably. There are side tables in solid brass or onyx. Original paintings or sculptures mounted on specially engineered wall brackets designed to handle G-forces. Some lounges even feature a fireplace. Electric, obviously, but rendered with such realism that guests regularly ask if it's real. Visual, a bar area. Crystal decanters, a wine cooler, bar stools, a bartender preparing a drink. Narrator, The bar is stocked before every flight based on passenger preferences. We're talking rare scotches, vintage champagnes, custom cocktail menus prepared by a Michelin star consultant. The wine cellar is climate-controlled, separate from the main cabin, holding dozens of bottles at precise temperatures. Visual. The dining room, a long mahogany table, high-back chairs, place settings with actual fine china and crystal glasses, a chandelier overhead. Narrator. And then the dining room, an 8 to 12-person dining table in solid wood, flanked by custom high-back chairs that double as safety seats during takeoff and landing. A chandelier overhead, Swarovski crystal in some configurations, precision balance to hang level even when the aircraft banks. The food served here isn't airline food. It's prepared by an onboard chef, sometimes someone pulled from a Michelin star kitchen, working in a fully equipped galley that would make most restaurant kitchens envious. Visual. A door slides open. Soft amber lighting. The hum of the engines barely audible. A king-size bed with layered silk and cashmere bedding dominates the frame. Narrator. This is the part people can't believe. A king-size bed, on a plane, in the air, at 40,000 feet. Not a lie-flat seat. Not a fold-down bunk. A real, proper, king-size bed with a proper mattress. Custom engineered to be lightweight, while still providing the support of a luxury hotel bed. Egyptian cotton sheets. A weighted cashmere blanket. Pillows filled with Hungarian goose down. Visual. Camera pans a master suite. Nightstands. Reading lamps. A window with blackout shades. A vanity area. Narrator. The master suite occupies a dedicated section of the fuselage, fully soundproof from the rest of the aircraft. Noise-canceling panels in the walls reduce the engine roar to almost nothing. Some suites feature windows that can be electrochromic tinted, darkened or clear with the touch of a button. Visual. The en-suite bathroom, marble countertops, gold fixtures, a shower with multiple heads, a rainfall option. Narrator. And through that door, the en-suite bathroom. Marble floors, gold-plated faucets, a sink carved from a single block of onyx, and a shower. A real shower with real hot water in the air. This requires an enormous onboard water tank and a sophisticated gray water management system. Engineering a functional shower at altitude is genuinely difficult, but when money is no object, engineering problems become engineering opportunities. Visual. Shower running, steam rising, rainfall showerhead. Narrator. Some configurations even feature a bathtub. Not a soaking tub, but a proper, reclinable tub. Again, real hot water in the air at 600 miles per hour. Visual. A montage sequence. Spa room, gym, media room, office, guest suites. Cut quickly to upbeat music. Narrator. But we're not done, because the master suite is just one section of this flying palace. Let's do a quick tour of the rest. Visual. A small but fully equipped gym, a Peloton bike, resistance bands, free weights, a wall-mounted screen. Narrator. The gym. Yes, a gym. On a plane. Cardio equipment that's been specially modified with dampened feet to reduce vibration transfer to the airframe. Some configurations include a yoga studio adjacent to the gym, with a sprung floor. Visual. A full spa room, massage table, ambient lighting, essential oil diffusers, an esthetician waiting. Narrator. The spa and treatment room. A dedicated massage table, skincare stations, UV-shielded treatment lighting, and a team of wellness professionals who fly with the aircraft specifically to provide in-flight treatments. Visual. A cinema room, large screen, reclining seats, surround sound speakers, popcorn maker on a side table. Narrator. The private cinema. An 85-inch or larger screen, sometimes a true projection system. Dolby Atmos surround sound. Fully reclining cinema seats. A dedicated streaming server on board with a library of thousands of films and shows, because even Starlink internet can have gaps at 40,000 feet over the ocean. Visual. A wood-paneled office, a large desk, multiple screens, a phone console, bookshelves with real books. Narrator. The executive office. Fitted with secure satellite communication, encrypted phone lines, and video conferencing capabilities. Because the ultra-rich don't take time off, they conduct billion-dollar deals at 40,000 feet. Visual, guest suites, multiple bedrooms, each with their own beds, closets, and private TVs. Narrator, and multiple guest suites, typically 4 to 6 additional bedrooms, each with a proper bed, closet, and private television. Your entourage, your family, your advisors, everyone flies in comfort. Visual, the crew quarters, forward the aircraft, separated by a bulkhead, bunk beds, modest but functional. Narrator, at the very front, behind the cockpit, the crew rest area, bunks for the pilots and flight attendants who take rotating shifts on long-haul flights. Because when you're flying 14 hours nonstop, you need a rested crew. It's notably more modest than the rest of the aircraft, which says everything. Visual, infographic animations, wiring diagrams, weight calculations, structural engineering overlays. Narrator, here's the part that most people don't think about. The engineering required to make all of this work. Every pound matters on an aircraft. And when you're installing marble floors, a grand piano, and a bathtub, all of which are extremely heavy, engineers have to fight a constant battle against weight. Visual, weight comparison graphic. Narrator,